dollars in funding from it.
What?
The studio has recently received an additional $15 million in funding from investors.
Guys, I'm releasing a new MMO. It's going to be open world, sandbox. I'm going to have some gameplay footage for you guys. I'm going to put up a GoFundMe. Yeah, it's definitely coming out for sure. 100%. It's going to come out. You should give me your money. Okay. We have another video by Lazy P on here. Every upcoming MMORPG in 2024 and beyond.
It's the start of a new year, so as usual, here's my obligatory upcoming MMOs video where I talk about all the games that could release in 2024, but realistically will be perpetually pushed back until all the
there it is.
hype for the game has been bled dry. Whilst 2023 was a decent year for new MMORPG announcements, we didn't exactly have a whole lot of releases. Surely 2024 will be better, right? Keep in mind some of the games mentioned in this video will never actually come out, and the ones that do will likely disappoint you, so keep your
Isn't that Dokkaebi or whatever? That's that giant shy game, right? Like, did that motherfucker just hit that dude? Look how big that hammer is. That actually kind of looks fun.
Expectations low and your hopes high as we go through the list. As per usual, the list is organised in order of the MMOs that I'm the most optimistic about to the ones I'm least optimistic about. Ashes of Creation. In 2023, Ashes has made amazing progress, and over the past few months of...
How did I know he was just immediately going to lead off with... Dude, he has been all up on the Ashes of Creation hype train. If this releases and it's a disaster, he's gonna look like a clown, dude.
Development update live streams has shown multiple...
Look at that UI, dude. There's no way, man. It has literally been in development for years.
core systems working.
See, this is what concerns me. Look at how basic everybody was like, oh, look how cool the animations look. No, that looks like crap. I don't think that looks good at all.
From the caravan system to...
This looks good.
Crafting, player housing, world boss fights, the event system, and most recently a big improvement to the game's combat.
Yeah, like look how basic it looks.
With the new Ranger class gameplay update. Ashes is a sand park.
I don't know. We looked at the Ranger class gameplay update. It doesn't even touch BDO, bro. It's not even close.
MMO.
Now they will probably update the UI before it comes out. It's unfinished, copium. But like, yeah, I mean, I'd be okay with like an old looking UI, whatever. Maybe they're going for that aesthetic, but the combat itself's gotta, dude, it's gotta look better than this.
Catering to both PvP and...
The rest of the game, the systems and stuff look cool. The seasons change. The caravan system looks amazing. But like, and like the life skilling systems and how things build and stuff over time and how you can have like the housing and stuff, that's all very cool. But like, the combat and the effects, man, that's why the majority of us would stay playing the game, and I don't know, bro.
PvE players, and has a lot of people hyped for it, including myself, due to its fair business model, going with the good old sub-fee, no box cost, and cosmetic-only cash shop approach with zero pay to win.
We'll see about that.
Overall, Ashes stands out as one of the most ambitious MMORPGs on the horizon, with Alpha 2 confirmed for Q3 2024.
When is Alpha 4 coming?
As for a full release date, I'd have to speculate late 2025 or even...
Get the f out of here. There is no way Ashes of Creation releases in 2025. I eat my hat on it. There's no shot.
2026, but it's really hard to tell.
2026 at the earliest. 2026 at the earliest.
If you keen on
We're in Alpha 2 this year. No beta. Okay? Like maybe late 2025, and that's being generous.
Keeping up with Ashes of Creation's progress, then check out my Ashes of Creation coverage playlist.
My god, he has a whole playlist. And in fairness, he is the content creator that you go to for like the coverage of Ashes,
in which I recap all of the game's development update live streams in a concise format. PAX Day is an upcoming social sandbox MMO.
PAX PAX Day looks great. I'm not sure I like the... It's kind of like Rust, the MMO. It's very survival oriented. I don't know how much I'm gonna like that.
RPG set in a vast fantasy world inspired by medieval.
I'm about progression and stuff, man. Like, everybody can constantly destroy me, like destroy all my stuff and take it from me. I don't know, man.
Legends, embracing a cloud-native MMO concept, the game
looks
allows
amazing,
players
though.
to seamlessly play on any screen or device. In terms of gameplay, the thing that sticks out for me the most with PAX Day is its player-created settlements. The building in this game looks absolutely insane and is likely to be best in genre in this aspect.
I would agree with that. I've seen some of the things that people can build in game. It's absolutely incredible. But just everything that can be built can also be torn down, and that feels really bad.
PAX Day basically seems like it'll be a medieval EVE Online, with a big focus on resource gathering, crafting, exploration, and a mix of both PvP and PvE. The recent alpha demonstrated promising progress. Unfortunately, I didn't get invited to the playtest, hence why I didn't cover it on my channel when every other content creator did. Early access...
There's no salt there. No salt at all.
Access for PAX Day is confirmed for spring 2024, with no date for the full release yet.
He's the Dead Sea of Salt. There is no way he's got the Riot Games MMO in a video that says every upcoming RPG or MMORPG in 2024. Oh, it's and beyond. Emphasis on the beyond.
Riot MMO. Contrary to what the clickbait titles flooding YouTube would have you believe, we still have almost no...
We have zero information on this game.
Information available about the upcoming Riot MMO. The main reason there's so much hype behind this game...
The only reason I think we have any information at all is because they've completely restructured how they're doing their lore and how canon accurate everything is from this moment forward. And that's because of the MMO. 100% because of the MMO.
Is due to Riot Games
like they have to keep a congruent storyline. They have to be able to make a storyline for the campaign.
Track record of having every game they've released turn out to be very successful, as well as appeal to a broad audience. With their resources and knack for making high quality polished games, I think it's fair to say that the Riot MMO has the potential to be one of the biggest MMORPGs since World of Warcraft.
I think that potentially it's going to release as the biggest MMORPG release in history. I could be wrong about that, but I think that there are more people hyped about the Riot MMO, and the hype around that release is going to be so tremendous. I don't know, like, it has potential to have the most players of any MMORPG on release. We'll see, though. We'll see. Whether or not it retains those players and whether or not it's actually going to be good remains to be seen.
Possibly setting...
I hate the term potential. We have to use that term in the MMO genre. Is this your first time here?
Standards for what it means to be an MMORPG in this
We live on this copium,
where the genre is mostly filled by nostalgic and franchised players. The only news we had this year was that Ghostcrawler, the executive producer of the game, left the company earlier in the year because of personal matters and started a new MMORPG studio.
He did?
Which brings us on to the next game. After leaving Riot Games, Ghostcrawler created fantastic Pixel Castle Studio and started the development of a game with the code name Ghost, after receiving a sizable investment from NetEase. The game is still in the very early stages of development, but according to Ghostcrawler, they want to bring back central pillars of the MMO experience.
My reservation about this Ghost game is that they want to center it around player feedback and stuff. I think that if you do that too much, you just never release a game. That's the biggest problem. Like, you have the Ashes of Creation problem where they're almost taking too much player feedback. We're just not going to see a game for like 7 years, and then by then the engine's outdated. Like,
such as playing with friends and building a community,
as
MMOs
potential.
have moved too far towards solo adventuring. One of the peculiarities of Ghost will be its shards system, where the player will alternate between private realms called blue shards, which will have a similar experience to games such as V Rising, and public red shards, which will have a more traditional MMORPG experience. Work on Ghost has just...
I believe in Ghostcrawler. I do too, but oh, look at that. Canon made a cameo. Look at that. He got an interview with Ghostcrawler. That's crazy.
But Ghostcrawler mentioned in an interview with Canon that the development of the game is moving really fast, and that he doesn't want to be working on the game 10 years from now.
Oh, Jesus. I thought really fast. I'm like, oh, this is a W. And he's like, yeah, the benchmark is 10 years. And I'm like, Okay, yeah. Well, what about like 2 years from now? Like,
I'll be real with you, I don't think we'll see this game before 2028,
yeah,
but at least we know where to put all of our cope if Ashes of Creation and the Riot MMO crash and burn. Chrono Odyssey is a Korean open-world MMORPG made in Unreal Engine 5 that will be available on both PC and console.
Wait, what is this?
This game looks absolutely stunning, and
yeah, those graphics look incredible.
The recent gameplay trailer is quite promising. It includes classic fantasy RPG classes such as Archer, Warrior, Berserker, and Mage.
Wait, this looks so good.
But it also introduces...
Not on console? Well, it says on console.
Uses guns, hammers, and, as the game's name implies,
it looks like action combat too, guys. Wait.
Various time-bending abilities. Chrono Odyssey kind of gives me BDO vibes with its graphics.
Yep. Look how cool that looks.
Epic-looking combat and giant monsters, but beyond that, the details are scarce. The most optimistic expectation would be a release in late 2024, but realistically, probably 2025 and beyond.
That game looks really cool, though. We're all playing that game 100%. Bro, a game that looks like that with that kind of combat, that kind of like the graphics look amazing, and then like the skills themselves look really cool too. Yeah, we're on board.
Throne and Liberty recently released in Korea in December 2023, and is
okay. Yeah, I'm gonna play Throne and Liberty, so you guys don't have to. But I'm very concerned about the botting in Throne and Liberty. And I'm very concerned about the massive amount of pay to win in the game. But I'm going to play it because it looks incredibly good.
Scheduled for a 2024 release in the West, published by...
It was supposed to be in the first quarter of this year, and then they went quiet on it.
Amazon Game Studios. Before the official release, the game underwent a significant combat revamp in response to negative feedback from the closed beta tests. The updated version of the game no longer includes autoplay, features a more dynamic combat system, and takes a more traditional approach to MMO features. It's basically like a modern version of Lineage 2. To the surprise of absolutely no one, the game is obviously pay to win, and will likely see a Western release in the first half of 2024 on PC, followed by a console release in the near future.
I will say that as negative as he can be, he's at least funny when he does it.
On both Xbox and PS5. Check out my latest video if you want to see my first impressions on the game and what you can expect for the Western release.
I think the game looks incredible. I think that the combat is like meets expectations. And I think that the fact that it makes you play with a lot of other players and requires a lot of shot calling is just really cool. I'm definitely going to try it.
Path of Exile 2. Not really an MMORPG, but I know all my MMO friends...
I've heard some crazy good things about PoE 2.
will be playing this game as soon as it comes out. Path of Exile 2
yeah, I think it is Ultima Online music.
A free-to-play next-gen ARPG that promises to outdo its very successful prequel, as well as offer a much more in-depth gameplay experience to...
I will 100% play this. I never got to play PoE 1, and like I never really had anybody to play it with. This looks like something I would play. I did play Diablo 3. I did enjoy that for like a while, and then I realized it sucked, so I didn't play it again. And then in Diablo 4 came out, I was like, they can't fool me again. Not this time. And I was correct about that. But PoE 2, I hear some incredible things about. It's got grind. It's got like this top. I like this. This has potential to be an incredible game.
Competitor Diablo 4, which released in 2023. Earlier in the year, Grinding Gear Games released a new gameplay trailer for PoE 2 and an announcement for the first closed beta, which begins June 7th, 2024.
Really?
Even though this isn't an MMO, definitely keep an eye out for this one, as I'm sure you'll like it.
Wow, dude, it's coming that fast?
Arcade 2 is not the name.
That shit's gonna kill Diablo 4, bro. No one will survive. On God, that's gonna kill Diablo.
For the next fresh start server of Arcade, but the sequel itself to the acclaimed yet controversial MMORPG. Arcade 2 takes a bold new direction from its predecessor by moving away from large-scale faction-based PvP. This shift apparently reflects the Western market's preference for action-packed single-player console
Diablo's already killed itself.
games. The primary focus for progression in Arcade 2 will now be on single-player content, while still trying to maintain the core elements that Arcade was known for, such as trading and sea combat.
So it's going like the BDO route.
Kakao Games is apparently looking at Gamescom 2024.
Oh, Kakao Game, bro. They published BDO for a long time, man. It was rough, dude.
For a gameplay reveal of Arcade 2, so I think we can assume a 2025 release for this one. Regardless, this is another Unreal Engine 5 MMO that I'll personally be very excited in trying out.
Looks good.
Perfect New World is a game made in Unity that was announced out of the blue 9 months ago.
Why would you call it Perfect New World? You know there's already an MMO named New World. The algorithm is not going to help you here.
And seems to be pretty far ahead in its development.
This looks like Naraka. Look at this
cycle.
Look at this dude
Judging
juggling
from the
this thing.
trailers and various beta footage, Perfect New World has a hybrid combat system with animation lock, features 4 different gender-locked classes, and has a mix of PvP and PvE content. The general feedback I saw from this game's playable tests were somewhat mixed, but the game does look really nice visually, and it's still in development.
It's got the ooh-woo mommies, that's for sure.
So there's time to improve. I'd expect a full release for this one sometime in 2020.
It's shameless. Shameless.
4. Corepunk is quite a unique MMORPG as it tries to bridge the gap between MOBA
It did look good, yeah.
and MMO, with top-down gameplay and fog of war, which serves as a way to incentivize exploration in the open world. Besides the MOBA-like combat system, you still have your classic MMORPG systems like gathering, crafting, quests, randomly generated dungeons, and raids. The game had a beta test fairly recently. Unfortunately, I didn't have time to play it, but next beta test I'll jump in.
It looks too much like that old Steam game I used to play. It was like a 3v3 arena. Gosh, I'm forgetting the name of that game. It was like this arena game where you play with your Battle Right. Thank you. Good job, chat. Yeah. Like it looks like Battle Right.
And make a first impressions video. So far, Corepunk is looking highly likely to release sometime in 2024. Do you like Warframe but wish it had slower, more deliberate gameplay and was set in a more grounded fantasy world?
Yes.
Well, good news. Soulframe is being developed by Digital Extremes and will be a parallel game to Warframe, offering similar gameplay features but with a different aesthetic and theme.
Okay.
There's no date for this one, but the devs are releasing development updates, and it seems like a release date is slated for late 2024.
Okay. Wow, that looks really good. That would be sick.
Its crowdfunding of over $500 million, Star Citizen is...
Star Citizen. It's coming, guys. It's definitely coming. Like, we know that, like 5-10 years ago, we know, like, we said it was coming and it wasn't coming, but, like, that, for real this time, it's coming. It's on the list. It's releasing.
The most ambitious game ever, and whilst after a decade in development we still have no full release date, we did finally get an incredible gameplay trailer for Squadron 42, the single-player campaign version of Star Citizen, earlier in 2023. Star Citizen has been playable in a testing state for a few years, and does have a dedicated community, some of which make epic videos about all of the latest updates. For many though, the game
it does look really cool.
Has been in development for so long that they've just chewed.
Yeah, it's a meme. That's the problem. It looks really cool, but like, dude, it took them like 20 years.
One thing's for certain though, if Star Citizen ever does release, it will probably be the best sci-fi MMO ever created. As for an estimated release...
Yeah, the trick to making an MMO, guys, is to tease it with a lot of like really cool mechanics and excellent graphics and gameplay footage. And then never release the game so that people can live on the copium for the rest of their lives and just keep giving you money for no game.
Release date? I have no idea. Terrace Land is a cross-platform PC mobile MMORPG made by
Avatar the game?
By Tencent.
Nope.
And that's usually where I would...
Nope!
lose interest immediately, but after looking into this game, I think it could actually be a very interesting project, although towards the end of 2023 it did have a bit of controversy. From the get-go, the game assured players that it would be a zero pay-to-win MMO, but during the CBT it had a number of systems where players could basically buy power in a similar way to games like Lost Ark and World of Warcraft. Weirdly, the devs also removed mentions of non-pay-to-win from their marketing and description
Yeah, it's pay to win, guys.
of the game during
I just assume all MMOs are going to be pay to win.
this time. However, since then, following
It's either subscription model with cosmetics or it's pay to win. And there is no in between.
backlash from the player base, they've now seemingly gone back to their non-pay-to-win vision, stating in a recent dev update that the pay-to-win stuff wouldn't be a thing for the full release, it was just for the CBT. Make of that what you will.
Aside from that, the game will have a seamless open world and a traditional tab
It can be both. True, yeah, it can be both.
target combat system, as well as being accessible on a global
It's a tab target combat system, I'm out.
server for both PC and mobile platforms. On top of that, the devs recently removed the game's gender lock after receiving feedback from a closed beta, which I think is very unusual for Eastern devs,
Maybe this is a bit of a hot take, but I don't care about gender lock on classes. I really don't care.
but will likely be appreciated by most players. As for
I thought I cared when I started playing BDO. I don't actually care.
features, it looks like they're going for a classic themed WoW-inspired MMO with raids, multiple classes and builds, and a vast open world.
Why do they still bother with the tab target shit? Well, it's way easier to design, for one. It's way easier to make a tab target system than it is an action combat system that like it has to be engaging and stuff. Like way easier, number one. Number two, it's easier for people to play, so you reach a wider audience with tab target. It's just easier.
As for the release date, Tarisland will launch in Q1 2024.
The Quinfall is an upcoming MMORPG that
No shot he included Quinfall.
makes the ambitious claim to
All right. This game has so much controversy around it. It said it was going to be out at the end of like last month, right? And then we realized that every single feature of the game is like a copy pasted Unreal 5 like bought directly from the school like store and like dropped into the game situation. It also boasts the biggest world of any MMORPG, which actually doesn't excite me very much because I will never see another player ever. And it'll probably be really empty. Like there's not much going on in this shot here. And then also their headquarters like screenshot on their website was like AI generated. And that was disproven to, or that was proven to
bring us the largest open world we have ever seen. In
Yeah.
Quinfall, your class will be decided
Yeah, I don't give a shit how big the world is. I'm just gonna be honest. It matters how good the world feels to move around and interact with.
by the combination of weapons you equip.
The fact they're bragging about that is not good. Like if you look at the world here, look how much of this terrain looks like it's just nothing. Miles and miles of nothing.
You'll be able to have your own shop in the world,
This looks
play
okay.
mini games and board games in taverns with other players, explore secret dungeons filled with puzzles, gather, craft, fish, and pretty much do everything your heart desires. This is a big promise, and it's possible that Quinfall is attempting too much, which doesn't always turn out too well. The game's
Also, they copy pasted BDO's like website, and they copy pasted BDO's like UI, like health bars and stuff.
Release was set
It's like exactly the same.
to be on January 20th, 2024, according to their Steam page.
Yeah, it seems
But
like a
the
month ago.
sneaky devs changed it very recently to coming soon, instead launching a closed beta test on January 30th instead. I've not had the chance to play the beta personally, and I'm extremely skeptical that this dev team has managed to pull off such an ambitious project in such a short space of time.
I don't give a shit. I am gonna farm this game. If this game actually does release, I'm all over it. Because either it's amazing and we're on it, or it's terrible and we're on it. It's a W for me either way. I don't really mind. It looks like it's gonna be a disaster though.
But based on some of the footage I've seen of the game on YouTube, the Quinfall does seem to be somewhat playable, so it's already surpassed my expectations because I genuinely thought it was a scam. Whether it's a
It
good
looks like
game
a
or
scam.
not, I'll let you know in a first impressions video soon when I get to play it. Blue Protocol is an upcoming free-to-play anime MMORPG
Yeah. As long as we're on the subject of scams.
RPG that was released this year in Japan and is set to release in the West in 2024, published by AGS. The game had a bit of a bumpy release in Japan, but I can see that the game
Yeah, Blue Protocol is just like Genshin Impact, but like not as good.
could be fairly successful in the West, as the game will be somewhat similar to Genshin,
But we will see.
with more
Yeah, see, there it
MMO
is.
elements. As for an actual Western release date, I think we could expect Q3 2024.
Yeah, I'll be honest, the waifus just don't look as good in this game, so it's just not going to be
Perhaps
good.
with some beta tests
Morning,
before
Amber.
that. Dune Awakening is an open-world survival MMO set in the Dune universe and developed by Funcom, the creators of Conan Exiles. Like many survival games,
This is the Dune universe? I'm not against it, but normally these knockoff, like, MMOs are terrible. Lord of the Rings, SWTOR, this one probably. I played SWTOR, a lot of it, because I was a huge Star Wars fan. And then I realized I didn't want to hate myself anymore, and I had to stop playing it. Lord of the Rings, you only play if you want to play with other people in the Lord of the Rings like environment. That's like the only reason that you're not playing it, because it's a good game.
Dune Awakening will include elements such as gathering, exploring, and hunting. However, it places extra emphasis on the social interaction among players in a persistent world. The game recently announced the first beta tests, and you can sign up for it on the official website. The devs mentioned that the game
I might sign up for that. I like the movies. I didn't read the book, but
is at
I
a
like the
stage
movie.
where player feedback would be valuable. I anticipate a release in 2024 for this one, potentially around Q4. Project LLL represents NCSoft's venture into third-person MMO shooters, unfolding in an alternate reality Seoul, intricately recreated as a 3D map, drawing inspiration from Philip K. Dick's novels. The game offers a fully explorable open world, dynamic events, and the inclusion of mechs. Development appears to be well underway, with a probable release in 2024 on both PC and console. Profane
Yamper, good morning. Hey girl. Good morning, buddy.
presents itself as an authentic player-driven sandbox MMO set in a traditional fantasy environment. You can explore a dynamic world that responds
Wow, this looks like garbage.
to your actions, engage in open world PvP, construct houses,
Wait, this looks like crap.
and experience skill-based action combat.
Nah.
Profane had multiple tests in 2023 and presented a playable version of the game at this year's Brazil game show. Based on the progress shown so far, I think the game will be released in either late
The dude looked like he was playing RuneScape for half of it.
2024 or 2025.
I'm out. Nope.
Past Fate is a Viking-themed
What is this?
open-world indie
We like
MMORPG where
Vikings.
players can choose from 5 distinct classes: warrior,
Looks like ESO.
necromancer, mage, pirate, and priest. The game has fairly nice graphics and adopts a Souls-style action combat system.
Graphics are okay.
It features a crafting and gathering system, quests, and various monsters such as zombies,
Yeah.
demons, and giants, and has been receiving small but steady improvements, with it likely to enter early access on Steam
Combat looks like garbage. We're out. Sorry. Combat just doesn't look good. Look how he swings the sword, bro. Look at this.
and has been receiving
Look at it. Like, it just doesn't look like it's very
small but
impactful.
steady improvements, with it likely to enter early access on Steam in 2024. Doki V
Do you have any new news about Red Desert? Yeah, we did some Crimson Desert stuff earlier. We reacted to 2 videos on.
is a creature collecting open world MMO
All right,
developed
this is the Doke V Shy, like, this is like the Shy standalone game, boys. Actually does look good. It hurts that I have to
and
admit
published
that.
by Pearl Abyss. This game was initially revealed in 2019, and the development has been somewhat quiet since 2021, where we got a pretty exciting gameplay trailer. This game is
It looks like you're like catching Pokemon. It's kind of like Pal World, but like different.
supposed to bridge the gap between young and old MMO
Way more engaging.
players, and has a much more casual tone when compared to other games from Pearl Abyss.
It looks
The
pretty
release
cool.
date for Doki V hasn't been announced
Yeet.
yet, but seeing how Crimson Desert was pushed to 2025, I wouldn't hold my
Everywhere I go, I see his face. That son of a bitch is on the cover of every single Pearl Abyss, like Black Desert, everything. They just couldn't help themselves with the alpaca. Couldn't help themselves.
My breath for this one. Maybe late 2024 if...
Hold on, I bet I can find it. That's the face of a terrorist. On God.
we're lucky. Otherwise, this is a 2025 or beyond release. Plan 8. Similar to Project LLL.
They said that this is going to be an MMO. I don't see how this could be. Like, watch the footage and you guys tell me if this looks like an MMO.
Well, Plan 8
it looks
is
like a
an
looter
MMO
shooter
made by Pearl Abyss. This game was announced in 2019 and PA has been radio silent ever since. Considering Crimson Desert was delayed for 5 years and tuned down from an MMORPG to a single player game, I can't promise you that this game will ever come out, and if it does, it might be a rhythm game for all we know. So don't expect this before
Okay, well, I would be a little bit more optimistic than that.
2026. Eternal Tombs, formerly called War of Dragnaroks. Eternal Tombs is an indie MMORPG that recently went through some major changes. After transitioning to Unreal Engine...
Bro, the graphics look like garbage.
5, the game will now be run by live staff called Tomb Masters, who will shape the experience.
What? The horse? Bro, this horse's ass is like in your face.
Experience of players.
Dude, why is the horse's ass going up so far?
And changing the in-game
It looks so
world.
Awkward.
Eternal Tombs will allow you to...
Like, why is it doing that?
By running events and changing the in-game world. Eternal Tombs will allow...
Dragging the wagon under there, boys.
Allow you to run your own shop, craft unique items, partake in castle sieges, and...
First thing you notice is this half the screen.
Much more. The game will also not have a cash shop.
Alright. Looks tab target, boys. We're out.
It promises that all items will have to be earned through gameplay.
Look at that
Eternal Tombs has some really unique ideas, and I'm interested to see if an MMO run by GMs can actually work. That being said, I don't think
the run by GMs is going to be the hard part.
We'll get to play it before 2025. Ashfall is a post-apocalyptic MMORPG shooter developed by legendary Star Studio and will offer 9 distinct shooting styles that come from a mix of your abilities and weapons. The expansive world in this game spans over 200 kilometers, featuring diverse environments such as small camps, toxic wastelands, and sprawling...
This looks really cool. I'd play this.
...cities. The release date for this game is confirmed for Q3
Oh god, please just be a better Destiny. Please just be a better Destiny, bro. On God. Like
2024, although personally I don't think this game looks very good.
That looks great, man. I would... Maybe he just doesn't... Maybe he's just not a fan of Destiny.
Into the Echo is an Unreal Engine 5 MMORPG that describes itself as a massively multiplayer time travel tale.
We got a double helix DNA situation going on over here.
The game aims to break free from traditional MMORPG conventions like linear progression or levels. Apparently, the game strives to create an inclusive environment where everyone can play together and have a meaningful impact, regardless of the hours they've invested. Whilst this game might not cater to hardcore players, it's likely to appeal to a more casual audience, especially those looking for a game to enjoy with their partner. There's no gameplay out for this one yet though, so I'm assuming this is a 2025 or beyond release.
Absolutely 2025 or beyond. Let me check on Basil real quick. He's chilling, boys. Everybody just stay quiet. Shh, he's sleeping.
Pioneers of New Dawn. Details about this MMO are still scarce, but it appears to prioritize building and sustaining persistent settlements in a challenging environment. With its abundance of natural themes and survival elements, the game sets...
It concerns me you're not showing us gameplay.
...itself apart from your typical MMO, potentially filling a unique niche in the market. Since there's no trailer or footage available yet, I believe this to be another one to add to the 2025 or beyond release list.
2026 at least. There's no gameplay footage at all. Did he mention First Descendant? No, not yet.
Playable Worlds is, unlike its name would have you believe, not playable. In fact, it's in the very early stages of development. There's almost no information about this game yet, but it's...
I don't know about you guys, but I really trust the developer team. For no particular reason. Alright? It just looks like somebody that I can get on board with.
Being developed by Ralph Coster, the lead designer and director of games like Ultima Online and Star Wars Galaxies, so we can only expect great things from this one. Plainly speaking, there's not much to talk about with playable worlds yet, and it will likely be unplayable until the end of the decade. City of Titans. If you were a fan of the now closed City of Heroes, you might want to check
No, City of Heroes was dog, dude. There's no way.
out City of Titans, an Unreal Engine 5 MMORPG that brands itself as the spiritual successor to City of Heroes.
Oh god,
this
no.
indie Kickstarter project has
This game is releasing in 2024 or 2025. Look at what is on your screen. 2025. What am I? There are only 2 reasons I like this, and they're blurry.
raised $800,000.
What is that? What is this? I can't tell if this is intentional or if this is just bugs in the game. That's got to be just bugs. There's no shot.
And after a period of limited communication, the studio has finally unveiled a playable version of the game, exclusive to backers, featuring some
Playable is such a strong word.
basic features. The potential release is expected in 2025.
Dude, no way. Like, look at this, man. Like, look how bad this looks. Look. That's a roller coaster. I think. Look at the cylinders. Look at the castle. Like, oh my god. I could make something that looked better than that. Like, how? Twinfall is copy pasting assets from the Unreal 5 store, and it looks better than this. What is going on?
Pantheon: Rise of the Fallen. If we travelled back in time 20 years and I showed someone the latest footage released for this game, they'd still say it looks outdated. But don't worry, if
I almost asked if it was World of
you're
Warcraft.
in your 20s, you might not live long enough to see the release of this game. And if you was ever excited for Pantheon in the past, odds are the recent graphics overhaul and baffling decision to make an EverQuest successor have a children's game art style.
Those bears look so bad, it hurts a little bit. Look how they're standing. They look like statues. Maybe they're not real bears. They're just statues, guys.
Has likely killed all your hype. I personally do not believe Pantheon will ever release.
Oh, that looks good. Yeah, that frame rate looks optimized. Look at this great PowerPoint presentation they put together for us, guys. Look at this.
I personally do not believe Pantheon will ever release.
It's a beautiful slideshow.
Camelot Unchained has been a hot mess for quite some time now, and it's honestly a shame to even include it in an upcoming MMORPG list video. At this point, it's become very clear
It just said release, nah.
that this game will never be released, and the studio behind it is just working on an engine to sell to other developers. What's mind-blowing is that even after being in development for
This dude has a bobblehead. Look at this. This dude's head is
more than a decade, and still figuring out the very basics of the game, the studio has recently received an additional $15 million
that's kind of funny. I keep it in the game.
in funding from it. The
What?
studio has recently received an additional $15 million in funding from investors.
Guys, I'm releasing a new MMO. It's going to be open world, sandbox. I'm going to have some gameplay footage for you guys. I'm going to put up a GoFundMe. Yeah, it's definitely coming out for sure. 100%. It's going to come out. You should give me your money.
Unbelievable. But that's it for this video. As I said, I think 2023 was a great year for new MMO announcements, and I'm excited for the new wave of upcoming Unreal 5 games that will hopefully bring a breath of fresh air into the genre. Which MMOs are you most looking forward to on this list? Which ones do you...
There is one in particular that looked really cool to me. Hold on. Right? This one. This one looks the coolest to me. This one is definitely the more... Look at this trailer and tell me you're not hyped for this.
MMORPG made in Unreal Engine 5 that will be available on both PC and console. This game looks absolutely stunning, and the recent gameplay trailer is quite promising.
Francis
It includes classic
Look at this.
fantasy RPG classes
Look at these. These animations are sick.
such as Archer, Warrior, Berserker, and Mage, but it also introduces guns, hammers, and, as the game's name implies,
Action
various
combat,
time-bending
cool
abilities.
graphics,
Odyssey kinda
time-bending
gives
abilities.
me BDO vibes with its graphics, epic-looking combat, and giant monsters, but beyond that, the details are scarce. The most optimistic expectation would be a release in late 2024, but realistically, probably 2025 and beyond.
I don't even care. That game is definitely the most hype. It looks really good. It looks really, really good. Here's the video right here, boys. I know you guys all know who Lazy Peon is. Go give it a thumbs up for the algorithm gods.